Hey you guys, I have such a fun topic for us to talk about today, so let's get comfy and let's talk about ascension. This has been a phrase that has come up a lot on this channel over the last few years, and I just felt like it was time to sit down and really have a good check-in. What does it mean? Where are we going? Are we going anywhere? Are things getting better? Like what's going on around the whole energy that the word ascension carries, because it seems to carry a lot. It does for me anyway. Whenever I hear this word, whether it's good or bad, there's a feeling that I have, and I bet that's probably similar for a lot of you guys too. And I think that the reason for that is because this word carries a lot of weight and a lot of potential that really does align with many of our life's purpose. I'm trying to, all of our life's purpose, our purpose in plural for all of us. And when we align with our own personal ascension process, then that naturally unfolds. So there have been probably, even in, just the past few years on this channel, like when I've thrown this word around, I'm connected to a new definition now, and I want to share that. I kind of want to just set kind of a new definition or a new bar. Anytime you hear me using this word going forward, what I'm really talking about is more of a journey than a destination when I speak of ascension. It's a very active thing. It's not a place that we are getting to necessarily. For me, it just doesn't resonate as strongly. This is definitely a process. And the ascension process for me has looked more like a really rough battleground than it has, in those moments where I am actually pushing through to that next level. It's really messy and private and vulnerable and uncomfortable, and there's a lot of crying. That's kind of what my ascension process has honestly looked like. If I'm ever posting anything where it's like I'm meditating and like things look really well, it's like that's when all that hard work has just like integrated and we're expressing it. But for me, the ascension process it's honestly been just very hard. It's been very difficult to expand myself into the places that I want to go, to expand myself into receiving a lot more, into no more suffering at all, period. To actually come up against all those beliefs within me. And frankly, some of the people around me, the beliefs that they have, and to be able to stay so unapologetically certain of what my beliefs are about who I am as a creator, who you are as a creator. So this has been very intense and emotional and, many, many other things, this ascension process that I've experienced. I don't know if there is truly another way to do it. I don't know. For me, it hasn't been that way. For me, it has been a lot of inner work, private inner work. So this, but it's a good thing. It's really about, for me, when I think of ascension, I think of myself, my energetic field, actually expanding into places that it hasn't been before, and bringing the light of unity, of this belief of unity, this understanding of source, and really expanding that into places that it has not been before. It's a continues to unfold. It continues to sort of, I used to think of ascension as this, like, we're on this like very linear bridge, and in some ways, like, this is probably true, and like other people can make analogies that I'm sure like this works. And maybe that's why I think this way, but I used to think of it as like this like bridge it's a linear path, and I'm like ascending over to this other point in space and time where, you know, I'm going to be expressing differently, and everyone around me is going to be expressing and creating differently on a different foundational belief system. And what I've really come to personally experience is it's much more like a lotus or a rose opening, and it just keeps opening and opening and opening, and it just keeps, you know, that spiral continues to unfold, and it's infinite. This ascension journey, what I've had to come to terms with, it's like there's no end point. There's no moment where someone like gives me a grade on how I'm doing on my ascension process. That's not gonna happen, which is really cute. This unfolding is really what I'm talking about. It's just about like another layer off and more authenticity exposed, another layer off, more clarity is exposed, another layer off, more, you know, the true essence and divinity of who we are is exposed. You can really, I mean, really just so strongly seeing that visual of a lotus opening, or like a flower with like many petals, right? It just keeps opening up more and more and more. And that, you know, that ability to continue to open yourself up to life is such an invitation. Whew, it can be really challenging to want to continue to open up to life after, you know, putting yourself up against the strongest resistances that, you know, your higher self is sort of creating for you, and you see your life on the other side of that, and what it really takes is just opening yourself up in the process of that resistance to go through it, and then, you know, integrate, beautiful, enjoy it, and then you can sort of feel that when it's time to move on to the, you know, expand into the next thing, you know. And so trust these cycles within you, and don't get caught up in ascension being a place that we're going and so much, but just be, you know, get really present with like how it feels today, and how are you feeling today about things, and do you feel like yourself when you tap into that whole idea, or any of the teachings that are out there around this. Just a few thoughts today that I wanted to share about that word ascension, and what it means for me, and what that process has really looked like for me, which has been a very private thing, and a very like hard thing sometimes. Let me know in the comments if that's really been the case for you too, when you are really tapping into this. Now, I'm not saying it's not like a ton of fun, and there's people along the way that are helping us out. We have so many helpers and assistants and support. Yeah, we have all of that, but really at the end of the day, it kind of comes down to like me with me doing that work. And I know that's true for you too. And it's just really nice to have a place to be seen and feel supported in that really being the truth of what Ascension is. So I hope that I've been able to be a little bit of that space for you today. And I would really love for you to like this video, to subscribe. It means so much to me. You guys, it makes a huge difference, like in my business, in my life, in my family's life, when these things like get some engagement. It's really powerful. You know, if you could just take a second to do that, it means so much. It's been so great connecting with you for a moment today. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next video.